Hello and welcome back. So we still have an error here because we haven't created our login view yet. So let's do that. Now, if I go back to my Laravel documentation and look at installation authentication, there we go. This is how you register the login view here. So I'm going to copy that. So there are several of these views you can register here, but we're going to do them one by one because repetition helps to remember. So let's go back to Fortify Service Provider inside Providers here, and this is where we add our routes. So this is where you're going to add all the other routes for password reset, etc., whatever it is that you want to do. So this one is auth.login, which is fine. All we need to do is go to the auth folder, right click, create a new file, and I will, since we already have the register.blade here, I'm just going to copy what's in here and add it in here and call this one login.blade.php. Make sure you're saving in all files, just to not HTML. It should be PHP. There we go. So all I need here is to remove the username because I'd rather have email there and the password confirm. And then I will change, obviously, every reference to sign up, convert it to login. Everything else remains exactly the same. So back to our system here, if I now refresh the login, this is what I get. So I get a login page here. If I try to go to profile, I'm redirected back here. If I go home and I try to go to the profile, I'm sent to the login page. If I go to the logout, I log out, profile, login page. Okay, so this is great. Now what I need to do is just try to log in. Now, if I do try to log in, let's see what will happen there. Let's just do that, and this is add a password. And let's say login. But before we do this, let's make sure that we are getting errors, and that is okay, good. And of course, we need to change this to the type password so that there's security here, like so. So back here and refresh. Let me add that one more time and password, and let me log in. So as you can see, it's that easy. Once you've set up everything, now we have a login that works just fine. So a few things to note here is that you have the auth variable here that you can use to, if you want to view the current user's details. So inside the header here, what we can do is we can use the variable auth like this. This is a class. Like so. So let's see if we can echo that out. So once we have that, you can see that this is an object which has all this information about the user. So you can freely get any of this stuff here. So for example, if we want to get the name and the email of the user, we can simply get that by putting an arrow there and saying name, something like so. So maybe you can say hi, and then you put that there. Let's put a break tag just so we are on a separate line, like so. So if I now refresh, you see that it's showing that this is the user that is currently logged in. But the problem is if I'm logged out, let's see what happens when I'm logged out. Let's click log out here. And now you see that we are attempting to get something that does not exist in the header. So the best thing to do here is to add, just like if you go to web, the welcome blade, you see there's this auth here, and then there's an else, and then there's end auth. So we can use this very system to our advantage. So let me copy this. Let me go to the header, and right here, instead of just putting this there, I'll put auth like that, and then end auth here, like so. So which means whatever I add in here is only going to happen if authentication is actually, if there's an authenticated user currently. So if I refresh now, I don't get that error anymore. But now if I go to profile, it sends me to the login. And now if I log in here, then now I can see that. And one last thing here is if I log out, and let me go back to the login page. If you want the user to be remembered, it's very easy to do that. Let me go to the login blade here. So right here we can add one more input here and just call it type checkbox. And then the name should be remember. And then we're going to see whether it's checked or not. But here I'm just going to say remember me, something like so. I've forgotten an M there. Wait, remember me. Good. So if I refresh now, oops, what's going on? I don't know why it's taking so long to load, but let me just make sure that I have everything correct here. Remember me. Okay. Okay, there we go. For some reason, it was taking long. But at least you have now the remember me there. So if that is ticked, then when I log in, it's going to remember me when I come back again, as long as I don't log out. So even when the session is gone, because if you close the browser, the session will last maybe a few days at most, and then it will disappear. Then if you come back, you have to log in. But now you can tick this to make sure that you are remembered when you come back. So let's add that to the list and let's hit login. Okay, there we go. So now we be remembered. If you go to the database at this point, you will see that it has included a remember token in here, which means it will remember this user. Very good. So I hope you have learned a thing or two about this authentication process using Fortify, which kind of makes it easier because it deals with the controllers on your behalf. So in the next coming tutorials for this Laravel series, we're going to look at creating an actual website from probably a simple template. If I can find a free template somewhere, then we can build that, or we can start from scratch. Either way, we're going to build a project for the rest of the series. I'll see you then.